Hello everyone. Today for your math lesson you will need to tear out pages 513 and 515. You will also need green and red, either pens, markers, or crayons. So go ahead and get those now. Today's lesson is lesson 9.2. We're going to compare fractions with the same denominator. Essential question: how can you compare fractions with the same denominator? Unlock the problem. Jeremy and Christina are each making a quilt block. Both blocks are the same size, and both are made of 4 equal-sized squares. 2/4 of Jeremy's squares are green. 1/4 of Christina's squares are green. Whose quilt block has more green squares? We are going to circle the two fractions we need to compare. All right, well, 2/4 and 1/4. All right. How are the two fractions alike? Well, what do they have the same? They have the same denominator of 4. All right. We are going to compare fractions of a whole. Shade 2/4 of Jeremy's quilt block. Okay, well, Jeremy has 2/4 of his squares are green. So 2 out of 4 of Jeremy's squares are green. 1, 2 out of 4 are green. Shade 1/4 of Christina's quilt block. Well, 1 out of 4, so 1 out of 4 of Christina's are green. Compare 2/4 and 1/4. Jeremy has 2 out of 4 and Christina has 1 out of 4. The greater fraction will have the larger amount of the whole shaded, so the larger amount is the greater fraction. Okay, so the more shaded is Jeremy's. So we know that 2 out of 4 shaded is greater than 1 out of 4 shaded. So we just said Jeremy's quilt block has more green squares. Math idea. You can compare two fractions when they refer to the same whole or to the same groups that are the same size. So we are able to compare these because they have the same whole. They both have 4 parts in each whole, so the wholes are the same size. Compare fractions of a group. Jen and Maggie each have 6 buttons. Shade 3 of Jen's buttons to show the number of buttons that are red. So now you get your red marker or crayon or pen. 3 of Jen's buttons. 1, 2, 3. Shade 5 of Maggie's buttons to show the number that are red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Write a fraction to show the number of red buttons in each group. Well, we know that they have a total of 6 buttons, so 6 is our denominator. Jen has how many shaded? The amount shaded is our numerator, 1, 2, 3. So 3 is our numerator, and 6, our total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is our denominator. Maggie also has a total of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so our total number is on the bottom. The amount we have shaded is on the top. That's our numerator, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5/6. There are the same number of buttons in each group, 6 in Jen's group and 6 in Maggie's group. So you can count the number of red buttons to compare the fractions. So 3 is less than 5. 3 is less than 5. So we know that 3 out of 6 is less than 5 out of 6. So who has a greater fraction of red buttons? Who has more red buttons? Maggie. All right, moving on to page 514. Use fraction strips and a number line. At the craft store, one piece of ribbon is 2/8 yard long. Another piece of ribbon is 7/8 yard long. If Sean wants to buy the longer piece of ribbon, which piece should he buy? Okay. On a number line, a fraction farther to the right is greater than a fraction that's to its left. On a number line, a fraction farther to the left is what? It is less than a fraction to its right. So it's greater than if it's closer to the whole. It's less than if it's closer to 0. Okay, so we're going to compare 2/8 and 7/8. We are going to shade the fraction strips to show the locations of 2/8 and 7/8. So in the first strip we will do 2/8. 1/8, 2/8. On the second strip we will do 7/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. Okay. Compare the lengths. Well, 2/8 is closer to the left, and 7/8 is closer to the right. So 2/8 is to the left. Oh, we forgot this step. Draw and label the points on the number line to represent the distance 2/8 and 7/8. Okay, 1/8, 2/8. 2 out of 8. 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. So 2/8 is to the left. It's closer to 0/8 or 0. 7/8 is to the what of 2/8? It's to the right of 2/8. It's closer to what? To 8/8. Or 8/8 is also equal to 1 whole. So we know that what is less than what? We know that 2/8 is less than 7/8. And 7/8 is greater than 2/8. So Sean should buy the piece of ribbon that is, which one's longer? 7/8. Use reasoning. Anna and Omar are decorating same size bookmarks. Anna covers 3/3 of her bookmark with glitter. Omar covers 1/3 of his bookmark with glitter. Whose bookmark is covered with more glitter? Compare 3/3 and 1/3. Well, we know that to compare them they have to be equal size, right? And they're going to be cut into how many thirds? So we have Anna's bookmark, and then we're going to make Omar's the same size, and they're going to be cut into thirds. Okay, Anna has 3/3 of hers, 1, 2, 3, and Omar has 1/3 of his covered. When the denominators are the same, the whole is divided into the same size pieces, just like this. You can look at the numerator, so the top number, to compare the number of pieces. Both fractions involve third-size pieces, which means 3 pieces are more than 1 piece. So 3 is greater than 1. So we know that what is greater than what? We know that 3/3, that Anna's 3/3 is greater than Omar's 1/3. So Anna's bookmark is covered with more glitter. Explain how you can use reasoning to compare fractions with the same denominator. It would really be helpful if you guys could see the question, huh? Or the math talk. Explain how you can use reasoning to compare the fractions with the same denominator. Okay, so since the whole is divided into the same size pieces, you can think about the number of pieces. Excuse me. The number, or the fraction. Sorry, I'm not thinking the fraction. With the greater number has more pieces and is greater. If you need to pause to finish writing that, feel free to do so. Moving on to page 515. Share and show. Draw points on the number line to show 1/6 and 5/6. Then compare the fractions. Well, 1/6 and 5/6. Think, 1/6 is to the left of 5/6 on the number line, so we know that 1/6 is less than 5/6. Compare right, less than, greater than, or equal to for each problem. Let's back up and go. Mrs. Douglas forgot about math talk. Reason abstractly. Why do fractions increase in size as you move right on the number line? So why, when we move to the right on the number line, do they increase? Well, the fraction represents the distance from 0. So, the farther right the fraction is, the greater the distance in size. So the fraction represents the distance from 0. So the farther right a fraction is, the greater the distance and size. And just remember, the reason we're able to compare all of these is because they all have the same denominator, so they all each have the same equal number of pieces in the whole. So 4 is greater than 3. So 4/8 is greater than 3/8. If we have our denominators 4, then we have 1/4 and 4/4, we know that 4 is greater than 1. So 1/4 is less than 4/4. We have 1/2 and 1/2. They have the same denominator and the same numerator, so they are equal 3/6 and 2/6. Well, we have the same denominator of 6, so we know that 3 is greater than 2, so 3/6 is greater than 2/6. On your own, compare right less than, greater than, or equal to. 2/4 to 3/4. Well, we know that 2 is less than 3, so 2/4 is less than 3/4. 2/3 to 2/3, same denominator, same numerator. 2/3 is equal to 2/3. 4/6 and 2/6, same denominator, but 4 is greater than 2, so we know that 4/6 is greater than 2/6. We have eighths. We have 0/8 and 2/8. We know that 0 is less than 2, so 0/8 is less than 2/8. We're going to write a fraction less than, greater than, or equal to the given fraction. Okay, we have 1/2. We know our denominator needs to stay the same, so it has to be a 2, and we need a number that is greater than 1. So 3/2 is bigger than 1/2. Over here we have number 11. So 6 is our denominator, and we need a number that is less than 12. So 5 is less than 12. So 5/6 is less than 12/6. 8/8, our denominator is 8, and we need a number that is equal to 8 for our numerator, so 8/8 equals 8/8. And then we have 2/4. We know that our denominator is 4. What number is greater than 2? There's lots of them, so let's go with 3. 3/4 is greater than 2/4. All right, moving on. Carlos finished 5/8 of his art project on Monday. Tyler finished 7/8 of his art project on Monday. Who finished more of his art project on Monday? We have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8. This is our whole 1. This is 0 down here. Okay, so we know that Carlos finished 5/8, so Carlos is here. We know that Tyler finished 7/8, so Tyler's here. Who finished closer to the whole project being finished? Tyler finished closer to the whole, so the answer is Tyler. Number 15. Use reasoning. Miss Endo made 2 loaves of bread that are the same size. Her family ate 1/4 of the banana bread and 3/4 of the cinnamon bread. Which loaf of bread has less left over? Alright, so we have a loaf of banana bread, and it's the same size as the loaf of cinnamon bread. We need to break them into how many equal parts? They're each in 4 equal parts. And her family ate 1/4 of the banana bread and 3/4 of the cinnamon bread. 1, 2, 3. Which loaf of bread has less left over? Well, the banana bread still has 3/4 left over, and the cinnamon bread only has 1/4 left over. So, the cinnamon bread. The cinnamon bread has less left over. Alright, now we're going to move on to page 516. Last page. Number 16. Todd and Lisa are comparing fraction strips. Which statements are correct? Mark all that apply. Alright, so we have fourths here. So is 1/4 less than 4/4? Is 1 less than 4? Yes, it is. This is correct. 5/6, we have 6. Is 5 less than 4? Nope, that's not correct. We have thirds. Is 2/3 greater than 1/3? Is 2 greater than 1? Yes, it is. And we have eighths. 5/8 and 4/8. Is 5 greater than 4? Yes, it is. All right. Number 17. What's the error? Number 17. Gary and Vanessa are comparing fractions. Vanessa models 2/4 and Gary models 3/4. Vanessa writes 3/4 is less than 2/4. Look at Gary's model and Vanessa's model and describe her error. Well, Vanessa's whole looks to be larger than Gary's whole, correct? They aren't the same size, so they're not measuring equal wholes. So that is why her 2/4 looks greater than his 3/4 because they're not the same size. So Vanessa's error is that Vanessa and Gary, capital G, are not comparing same size wholes. The fourth size pieces are not the same size. So you cannot compare them. So now we need to, for number 18, explain how to correct Vanessa's error, then show the correct model. Well, we're going to redraw Vanessa's model, so then that way we can have the same size whole as Gary. Then we will show 2/4 and compare. So then Vanessa, hold on. Okay, so we're going to make this the same. So 2/4 is smaller than 3/4.